important, all in the playoffs, all over a 5-day span starting tomorrow. And we've got Art DiCesare on today's show to tell you exactly where all the money is going on every single football game, both college and all the NFL games. So stay with us. Art DiCesare's coming on a little later in the show. We're going to go through every single football game. We also have Gianni The Greek on with his Steam report. Where are all the wise guys' money going today? What bets are they making? Gianni is going to tell you that. Andy Lang with some prop bets. But before we get into anything, Rob Veno with 3 basketball bets. Hello, Rob Veno. How are you today? Sorry, Rob?
You got me?
There you are, my brother. How you doing?
I am good, Prez. How are you today?
No complaints at all. Excited, heading to Florida tomorrow, but still going to be doing these shows my eldest daughter, so it'll be fun, some good bonding time. No complaints.
Nice.
Good to see you with us, my friend. Happy New Year. We haven't spoken since. But let's get into some betting information. Big game tonight, Oklahoma and Texas A&M. This is a 12-2 Texas A&M playing a 13-1 Oklahoma team. One of these teams leans slightly to the under. Texas A&M 5-9, and Oklahoma 8-6 to the over. -2.5 for the home team, a total of 146.5. How should we bet this game?
Well, I'm going to start by saying I looked at it from an under perspective, Prez. It opened 149. I thought it was too high. It's been bet down to 147.5. That's still the way we're going to look at it. Both teams enter off of different results. SEC opener, not good for Oklahoma. They got blasted at Alabama, 107-79. The other side, A&M, had a nice 20-point win, 80-60 at home. Now on the road, Oklahoma now at home. SEC is a tough conference, and home floors are going to be tough to win on. When you look at the strength of schedule here, you come up really quickly with the realization that A&M has played a tougher schedule, 38th toughest overall, 8 games versus what they call quad 1 and quad 2 opponents, 6-2 in those games. Oklahoma, meanwhile, 281st ranked schedule. But you kind of have to take that with a grain of salt because they have played some good teams in there, and they're 4-1 against top 80 teams so far, 3-1 against quad ones. Alabama was the first team to whack them around a little bit. So they've done well when they've stepped up in competition. I think the matchup keys here are simple. A&M is kind of the same team they were last year. Can't throw it in the ocean, but boy, they hit the offensive glass. They're the number 1 offensive rebounding percentage team in the nation. And Oklahoma's going to have their hands full because they don't defensive rebound at all. They're number 304. Big edge for A&M. Oklahoma, however, is one of your best shooting teams in the country. So A&M's going to have to be really good on defense here. They're good at stopping teams from scoring or shooting high percentage. They're 17th in effective field goal percentage allowed. You get a lot of conflicting arguments in this game, Prez. 2 teams, just to boil it down, that are really hard-nosed, much like their coaches, Buzz Williams, Porter Moser. 2 good defensive squads. One shoots better. One's at home off of a really bad conference opening loss. That would be Oklahoma. If I had to play side, I would play Oklahoma. But I think that the defenses are going to rule here, Prez. Like I say, one team can't shoot, and the other side can shoot, but they're going to face a real defensive presence here. So give me under 147.5. The only thing that scares me a little bit is with these 2 teams involved, it could end up in a parade to the free throw line. Hopefully that doesn't happen. If it does, we'll pray Texas A&M keeps shooting them as poorly as they have so far this year.
There we go. Rob Veno joining us, everyone. You're watching WagerTalk Today, the best daily sports betting show on the planet. Rob likes under in the Oklahoma A&M game with a slight lean to Oklahoma, which I think is -3 at most books. Let's focus our attention on Ole Miss and Arkansas. Again, teams that are cruising right now, 12-2 for Mississippi, 11-3 for Arkansas. Arkansas, however, is struggling to cover the number, Rob. They are 4-9-1 ATS on the year, and here they sit as a -4, 4.5 favorite. How do you suggest we bet this one?
Well, this is a lot. It has a lot of similarities to the game I just described, right? Two SEC teams, second SEC game. Arkansas comes home after getting destroyed by Tennessee on Saturday, lose by 24. In fact, the 52 points that they scored, Prez, I think were the second lowest total in some ungodly amount of time put up by this team. So they have some bounce back in them, I think, offensively. Mississippi, on the other hand, they won at home, now go on the road. So same situation as we had in the first game we talked about. I think when you look at these two squads, we know Calipari with his band of portal put togethers here. Little lack of cohesiveness, maybe. I mean, when you look at their talent on paper, you would say, wow, this team could win the SEC. Just hasn't gelled yet. We'll see if it does here. Both of these teams offensively would prefer to go quick. But in typical Chris Beard fashion, the head coach for Ole Miss on the defensive end, he'd like to lock you down into a half-court game. So it'll be interesting to see which team can force their will upon the other. Generally, I leave that to the home team to do so. Ole Miss, like I say, they make you use an awful lot of clock in order to try and get off a shot. So for Arkansas, it'll be a transition game. Can Ole Miss get back in transition defense? And then for Ole Miss, probably the biggest thing here, can they get on the glass against Arkansas? Arkansas's front line edge is huge here, and Arkansas was dominated by Tennessee rebound-wise on Saturday. Ole Miss is not Tennessee. Tennessee had a 51-29 rebound edge against Arkansas the other day. I don't think that happens again. This is kind of a step down in class for Arkansas's size. Arkansas's played 4 top 30 teams so far, all on neutral floors. They're only 1-3 against those teams. That kind of goes to your point about them struggling against the spread. Each side's going to probably look to run on offense. I look at it this way. Arkansas was pretty angry, especially the head coach. We've seen Cal angry before, John Calipari, after getting destroyed. I think they come out of the chute quickly here. Chris Beard, the head coach of Ole Miss, has said their defensive game plan is to try and get on the boards. I don't know if they can figure it out early enough. So I slice this down to first half, Prez. I'm going to take Arkansas, the home team, in a bad mood off of a loss, laying 2 in the first half. Arkansas first half -2.
There we go. Took a long time to get there, but Rob Veno likes Arkansas first half -2 points. Lots of love to the people in the chat room. Waj, Pezzy, P Daddy, DT, all of you guys. Thanks for joining us every day in the chat room. Means the world to everybody at Wager Talk. If you guys don't mind, please hit that like button. It would be greatly appreciated. We got an NBA bet coming from Rob Veno. Before that, Rob, what do you have to promote for the clients today?
Well, let's promote what Wager Talk is promoting as a company here, Prez. And that's an NFL playoff special that's going on right now. You can take 25% off of the regularly low price of $149. And I promote that only because last year in the NFL playoffs, I finished number 1 amongst Wager Talk handicappers during the playoff season. It was a really good run. Picked up like 24 units during the playoffs. And we're up and ready to roll here for this playoff season as well. Along with that, I'll say really quickly, college football, Final Four. We have a play up already for the Final Four here. And college football since December 1st has, again, been tremendous. So look for all of that over at WagerTalk.com on my homepage.
There we go, Rob Veno. Rob, let's turn our attention to the big NBA matchup. 2 best teams in the league right now, Oklahoma City and Cleveland. One of our listeners, Waj, thinks that the number 230 is too high. You like the under in this game, is that correct?
I do. And it's tough to hear under come out of my mouth twice in one show, Chris, with only 3 plays, but it will. I like under 230 here. I'll tell you what, we're not going to go through how hot both of these teams are. Everybody knows they're both on huge winning streaks. I think let's look first to the injury list for OKC. They would love to have Alex Caruso, especially on the defensive end, but they don't. But they still have been able to hold 17 of their last 18 opponents to 109 or less. That's extremely good defense by Oklahoma City here. They'll have to deal with Cleveland's front court size. Every time you have Cleveland on the floor, they have an advantage over the majority of NBA teams as far as the interior is concerned. And Oklahoma City's so weak there, only Isaiah Hartenstein to do the damage down low. He has to do too much in too many minutes. It's a hard matchup for Oklahoma City, but they get you back on the perimeter. Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell are going to find these Oklahoma City guards hounding them all game long. What usually comes easy to Cleveland probably doesn't come easy here. I'll give you a quote real quick from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander of the Oklahoma City Thunder, who said, "It's going to be hard on the road to get off to these slow starts that we've been getting off to lately, so we have to kind of fix that. We got to throw the first punch, especially on the road against good teams with their environment and their crowd behind them." It's the number one ranked defensive efficiency team in the league. Cleveland, believe it or not, is number 8. They can play defense when they want to. Cleveland, in their last 16 games, I found this important. They played 3 teams that are in the top 10 defensive efficiency-wise. OKC's number 1. Those 3 games for Cleveland landed 225, 208, and 226, all under the 230.5 asking price tonight. To me, it looks like a game that probably gets to a ceiling of 225, so I played under 230 in this one.
There we go. Rob Veno, outstanding work today, dude. I love having you on the show. Thanks for joining us. And we'll see you in the next little while. Be well. Send my love to everybody in your family, and I hope you keep winning.
All right, buddy. Have a good trip. I'll talk to you soon.
There we go. Rob Veno, everyone. We still got a great show lined up. Andy Lang, the doctor of props. He's got a bunch of prop bets for us. And then we're going to roll up our sleeves and figure out where all the money is going in both college football playoff games and all the NFL games. Art DiCesare will be joining us for that, and we're going to end with Gianni The Greek. Of course, I will have an NHL play for you guys. Yes, we won our under yesterday in the Leaf game. I think that's 7 in a row now. I'm also absolutely rolling in NHL for my clients. Yesterday, we had the under in the Detroit Red Wings game as a 3% play. We cashed that. Now on a 13-2 run in NHL for my clients. And I have a very rare big bet up tonight in the NHL. 90% of my plays are 3% plays. And I like to keep it that way. Every now and again, I do step out with a 4 or a 5% play, but they're very, very rare. Tonight, I have a 4% play in the NHL. It is a total. I absolutely love this play. As I said, I'm on a 13-2 run in the NHL. I'm also on a 21-7 run in total bets, and I have a 4% total up tonight for my clients. But guys, the bottom line here is I got a promo up that I really need you to take advantage of. It's $179. You get a month of my NHL plays and all my NFL for free. My entire NFL package free if you buy a month of my NHL plays for $179. And yes, I'm on a 14-2 NFL run. I have a 5% up for this weekend and a 4%. So plus I got a couple more coming. So take advantage of that, $179. Thanks so much, everyone. I love when we're all doing this together. Andy Lang. What is this, 700 days in a row? Nice sweatshirt. Never seen that design before. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Tough NHL loss for me last night. I had Lafreniere to not have a point, thinking that Rangers Stars game would be low scoring. Boy, was I wrong. 5-4 score in that one, and he had the very first goal of the game. So it happens. 27-13 run in NHL, but sometimes you can feel very foolish in the props betting markets for sure.
Yeah, well, listen, dude, I gave out kind of accidentally the Rangers plus 150 yesterday. They were up 3-0. So I was like, that's looking good. Man, this team is inventing ways to lose. It's radical to me that their coach still has a job. It's unbelievable what's going on in New York right now. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I feel like in every sport, there's just a couple teams that always have the season from hell. Like the 49ers in NFL, this was their season from hell. And it's like the Rangers. They're just, like you said, they magically come up with a new way to lose. You're up 3-0 and somehow lose in overtime. I'm with you. They're a bet against.
Eddie, we got lots of actionable prop bets coming from you. We got an NBA, an NHL, a golf, and a tennis bet. I hand the mic over to you.
Yeah, tomorrow we're going to start diving deep into some NFL plays, and also the very first UFC card of 2025 is this Saturday, so we'll be talking about that. For today, let's go to the NBA first, and we'll go to a game that's probably off of everyone's radar. It's the Nets and the Pistons. It's a terrible game, but we're going to take Zaire Williams under 12.5 points. Prez, the Brooklyn Nets are so banged up. Like, every starter is not playing. Ben Simmons is game time decision. Thomas is out. Johnson is out. They traded for D'Angelo Russell. Now he's hurt and he's out. So what happens is these Nets have these backup players that are having to play big minutes, and they're just not very good. So Williams, let's take him under 12.5 points, under in 17 out of 20 games. He's only averaging 7.5 shot attempts from the field, but he's shooting 33%. It's awful, and he's only hitting 2 free throws per game. So obscure game, but these are the markets that we continue to find ways to cash in. I really appreciated what Gianni said yesterday, Prez, where he said, like, all the books and all the public are focused on NFL playoffs and college football playoffs. And these are the markets that are available. These are soft lines. They're really, really good numbers out there. We'll go to the NHL, and this one keeps cashing, so we'll bet it again. Sam Bennett to not have a point. This is a client play. He continues to struggle. This is 8 games now in a row without a point, and somebody did a really good job on Monday's episode of Puck Time. Someone in the chat was talking about how he's still not healthy. It's obvious. He's not at full speed. The Panthers, as a team, are having trouble scoring. They have just managed 1 or 0 goals in 4 out of their last 6 games. So it's very possible that we just don't get a lot of goals from this Florida Panthers team tonight. And Sam Bennett, just the opportunities have not been there. So we'll take him. And yeah, we had to do another tennis play since we hit the one yesterday. So we'll come back to tennis. And again, I'll mention at the end of the tennis special that we're running. Prez, 48-18 run in tennis. 6 winners in a row this week. This is why we keep talking about these markets and these sports. We wrapped up the World Championship of Darts 32-14 for 28 units. Tennis 48-18. So we're going to continue to talk about these sports and how you can build bankrolls off of them. So we'll do a parlay here in this one, which I know you love. We'll go to the men's Australian Open qualifiers, and we'll take Eubanks on the money line. And then we'll go to the women's Australian Open qualifiers, and we'll take Kudermetova. We'll parlay them together for minus 145. Eubanks was really, you could use the word shaky. He was bad last year, but he's rebuilding. This is a really good, this is a good matchup for him. The guy's playing as young, not very much experience. He's hit 77% of his service points. So we'll take Eubanks. And then Kudermetova, you know who she actually won a set off of last week, Prez, was our girl, Sabalenka. So she was the only one to win a set off of her. 2 easy straight wins for her in this tournament. She gets a really easy opponent in this round. 43 winners, 26 errors in round 2. So she is going to bring the juice down on this parlay. So that's minus 145. Eubanks on the men's Australian Open qualifiers and Kudermetova in the women's Australian Open qualifiers. And we'll go to golf, second tournament of the year. We'll take Maverick McNeely to finish in the top 30. This is only minus 120. He finished the 2024 season by finishing 16th, 6th, 17th, and then a win. And then his first tournament of the season was last week. I really wanted to see, does the momentum carry over? And it did. He finished 8th in a really good field. So he's top 20, total strokes gained. I think this is a great price on him to finish top 30. And Maverick McNeely, I bet you didn't know this, richest golfer on the PGA Tour.
No, I did not know that. Is that because he made money doing something else?
His dad found a big tech firm in the 80s, so he's got a trust fund worth over $1 billion.
Yeah, well, there's a tennis. Wait, how much is his trust fund worth?
It's over $1 billion. His dad's worth over $1 billion. And when Maverick McNeely graduated college, he moved back in with his parents, and his dad made him pay rent. It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
That ain't the richest tennis player, bro. Try again.
No, golfer.
Oh, golf. There is a richer tennis player.
Oh, who is this? I love stories like this.
The female whose parents own the Buffalo Sabres and the Bills.
Oh, okay. All right.
Pagula.
Oh,
Jessica
Jessica Pegula.
Pagula. Yeah.
And she's a damn good tennis player. Damn good tennis player.
And she's
I
female. Okay. Andy, I love having you on, bro. I love all these sweaters you wear. I love your prop bets. 48 and 16, is that right? 48 and 16 run?
48 and 18 run in
That's
tennis.
so sick.
It's a dynamite market. We've been doing this for years. We're number one lifetime. You can get 30 days of tennis plays for only $59. If you would have gotten this earlier this week, 6 straight winners in tennis. So, get on it now. I don't know. I just can't talk anymore about tennis and what a great market it is, especially in the majors. And for those of you that get on this play, just know we start off at the Australian Open hard and heavy in the first couple rounds. It's when you get the biggest mismatches. So expect a lot of plays right off the bat. So get locked and loaded. It's a great way to build the bankroll in January.
Yeah, excellent stuff. I'll be betting all your plays. Thank you, Andy. We'll see you tomorrow. Art DiCesare joining us, everyone. And Art is a risk manager at the Westgate Superbook, and I probably mucked that all up, but whatever the case may be, he's with us today, and we're talking football. What's up, Art DiCesare?
Prez, it's good to be here as always. This is a great week. We have games that start tomorrow and go through Monday, so it's going to be a lot of fun to break down all the playoff games.
Yeah, and Art, where does this sort of week compare to March Madness or the NBA first round playoffs or the World Cup of Soccer? The darts World Championships obviously right up there. Where does this weekend compare?
Well, obviously your top two are never going to be touched when you talk Super Bowl and you talk the first 4 days of March Madness. Those are really kind of they can't be touched. But this now, with college football being moved back a little bit, you have the extra playoff games, and now you have this run of games. It's really great. Now, Thursday and Friday you have one game. Saturday you have a couple. So even Monday it's one game. But the stretch of the 5 days is really great. Obviously, March Madness, you're talking, 8 games a day, 12, whatever it is. You have all that. And then obviously nothing is like the Super Bowl. But this is really a great week for us because, yeah, you have all the football, but you have everything else too. You have all the basketball, you have all the hockey, you have everything else that goes on. It's not like those sports stop. So This is a busy week for us.
Right. Art DiCesare, let's get into it. Notre Dame, Penn State. So here we've got a game that has just been bet down on the under for 4 days straight. We had an opening at 47.5. There's now 44.5 out there. The side, Art, is all over the map. I mean, we had Penn State up to 2.5. Now it's -1. Notre Dame. What is going on at the Westgate, and how do you suggest we bet this game?
Yeah, this is a fascinating game that has obviously seen a lot of action. We opened Notre Dame -1.5, a total of 48. We were actually a little bit higher on the total, Prez. We've now seen really good under money. Like you said, it's been under money all week. That's pushed us down to 45. That's a 3-point move there. Early money was on Notre Dame. We got to as high as 2.5. And now we've seen a really good trickle of sharp Penn State money at 2.5. They were taking chances at +115 on the money line. Now we're Notre Dame -1. So even a little bit lower than what we opened it at. So this has seen really good split action on the game. I do think because of the public Notre Dame money we will see, we still will need Penn State in the game. And obviously we'll need the over in the game too, because it feels like it's been nothing but under bets.
If you guys like what you're hearing, take a second out of your day and hit that like button, please. It would be greatly appreciated. We need it. There's so many competitors on these channels, on YouTube, on the podcasts, and got to stay one step ahead at all times. Art DiCesare, Ohio, Texas, again, another game that has seen a lot of money coming in on the under. We're now down to 52.5 in some areas, 53 most places. In this side, 6.5, 6, 5.5, back to 6, back to 5.5. What's going on in this game?
Yeah, no different for us, Prez. We opened Texas as a 6-point underdog to Ohio State. We had a total of 54. We're now 5.5 and 52.5. We did see the 54 under money, which was sharp money. So that was sharp money for us. Whereas the other game, Notre Dame, Penn State, wasn't necessarily sharp money. It was really just the market moving and the bets that we have taken. Ohio State is obviously very popular in the sense that when they're in that 6.5 range, despite us moving back to 5.5, Texas is going to be popular in teasers. People are going to tease them to NFL games, and they're going to put them in a lot of money line parlays with, let's say, Baltimore and Buffalo. You're going to see a lot of that as well.
Right.
So obviously, it'd be nice for us if Texas won outright. We would like that. But for us, we're actually rooting for Ohio State because out of the 4 teams, they do the best for us in the future pool.
Oh, there we go. Art DiCesare, let's turn our attention to some NFL. We got 2 games on Saturday, the Chargers in Houston, Pittsburgh and Baltimore. This Pittsburgh game, and it makes sense, keeps getting bet down total-wise as well. We have seen some money coming in on Houston. And the Baltimore side, man, we got 10s now up there. So how do we attack these 2 games?
Yeah, let's start with the first game, the early of the 2. Chargers at Houston, very interesting. We opened Chargers 3 even and a total of 44. And we saw a tremendous public money come in on the Chargers. And it just kind of stayed steady for a couple of days. Now we've seen a little bit of buyback now on Houston. So you've seen sort of the sharp guys come in, take Houston, kind of fade the public a little bit. Total of an opener of 44. It was bet sharp down to 42.5. So I think this is the real split game of the pro bettors and the Joe bettors. Joes are on the Chargers and the sharps are on Houston. Pittsburgh and Baltimore, we saw Baltimore money from a 9.5 opener, got to 10. Took a sharp bet yesterday from a guy we respect on the Steelers plus 10 that moved us back to 9.5. And you mentioned the under money as well. It feels like it's the theme of a lot of these games. Total of 45.5 has moved us down to 43.5. Obviously, 2 teams that know each other. They have played higher scoring games than they normally do, but this is a playoff game where they might feel each other out a little bit in the beginning, which has moved that total down 2 points to 43.5.
Yeah, and Art, just to make, and I don't have the numbers right in my hands, but I think the last matchup between these 2 went over. I think prior to that, it was like 13 unders in a row or something. I mean, there were 3 games that ended 17-10. So, all like last year, like not ages ago. So I understand why the Pittsburgh-Baltimore game has been bet to the under. I don't agree with that, but I understand it. Denver, Buffalo, Green Bay, Philadelphia, and Washington at Tampa Bay. This Sunday card fascinates me. Money coming in on Philadelphia. Tell us what you're seeing out there in these 3 games, side and total wise, and maybe we'll go with what you like at the end of the whole segment.
Sure. Denver at Buffalo, it's going to be your early game. We opened Buffalo as a 9-point favorite, 47.5 the total. No shock. I keep saying it. We've seen under money. We've only moved a point on this one, so it's not a crazy move, a 2 or 3 point move. We're at 46.5 now, so that is under money. We did take a sharp bet on Denver at +9. Another guy we respect, the same guy who took Pittsburgh at +10. So that has moved us to Buffalo as an 8.5 point favorite now. And just like Baltimore, Denver's going to be very popular in the teasers, get them under 3, and they're going to be very popular in the money lines. If we could ever get Buffalo to lose outright, that would be really good for us because of all the stuff that will be tied to them. The middle game, to me, is the best game of the day. maybe even the best game of all the playoffs. This is a fantastic game. Green Bay at Philadelphia. We opened Philadelphia 4.5, total of 46. We saw good money early on Philly, and then there was all this, oh, well, Hurts is still in the concussion protocol. And then you saw people buy in on Green Bay because of that information. We got back to 4.5. I saw some places go even as low as 3.5. We didn't feel that was necessary. So we're really still at our openers of 4.5 and 46. I think we'll need Green Bay in the game because of all the Philly money that will come in because Hurts is going to play in the game. I don't think there's any question about it. Late game, Washington at Tampa. Tampa opened 350.5. This has been pretty split, even though the early money was on Tampa. This is split. It's gotten the least amount of action out of the 3 Sunday games. I don't think there's any surprise there. The thing that shocks me is the total hasn't budged on this game. Tampa plays no defense. It feels like Washington doesn't either. I think eventually we're going to move up on this total. And we've been steady at 50.5. We ticked up for a second at 51, came back. But I think by kickoff, you could see a 51.5 on this game. I think the over money will come.
Yeah, and guys, just really quickly, that 51 is a big number in totals. 24-24. That's not an unusual score, and that gets you to 48. 3 points gets you to 51. So if you plan on betting the over in this final game, the Tampa Bay game, bet it right freaking now. Art DiCesare, let's talk Monday. Minnesota and the Rams, the smallest line on the board, -1 for Minnesota, a total of 48, 47.5. What's going on in this one?
Yeah, we opened Vikings 2, Prez, and 47.5. So we ticked up half a point on the total. Nothing really sharp, just kind of moved with the market. We didn't want to be the lowest number out there. And we've seen good Ram money. You know, Rams have moved, like I said, from 2 to 1. So you've seen a lot of Ram money come in. Rams are also popular on teasers, moving them through 7 when it was 2 and 1.5. It got you to 8 and 7.5. And you saw the Rams popular on money line stuff as well, because now when you're sitting at 1, you're either getting, even money or -105 or something of that nature. When it was +105 and +110, you saw a lot of support for the Rams on the money line.
Art DiCesare, what do you like for Wild Card Weekend? Then we'll get you to promote and call it a day.
I'm going to say this, Prez. I think my 2 favorite bets, I like Penn State on the money line. There's still +105s out there, so I do like Penn State in the college game. And I'm going to be a little square here. I like the Eagles. I think the Eagles are primed and ready to go. I don't like the way Green Bay ended the season. They have some injuries they're dealing with, and I think the Eagles will be raring to go at home and play a really good game. So I like both of those games. And as always, guys, the Westgate, come down, check us out. Always, if you want, you can come say hi, ask for me, I'll pop out, and I'll give you a couple of minutes. I get it all the time, and everyone who comes in and says all these nice things about all the appearances on WagerTalk, I really appreciate it.
Well, as they should. You're our MVP. Art DiCesare, everyone. Thanks for joining us, brother. Have a great weekend. Now that he's gone, I hope we kick their butts this weekend, everybody. Colorado and Chicago playing tonight in the NHL. I got a bet for you on that game. Before we get into that, I just want to let you guys know I got a great promo up. You want my NFL free for the entire playoffs? All you have to do is buy a month of my NHL. That's it. It's $179 for a month of my NHL. I'm on a 13-2 NHL run, 13 wins, 2 losses in my last 15 NHL plays. I'm also up profit on the season. Ho-hum, I was up profit last year as well. The NHL is my sport. NFL, I'm on a 14-2 run, one better than the NHL, and I'm really seeing things well. I got at least 3 plays for my clients this weekend. 1 5%, 1 4%, 1 3%. They're all up now. You guys can get my entire NFL playoffs for free. Just buy a month of my NHL, $179. Okay, Colorado's playing Chicago tonight. And listen, I feel bad for the Chicago Blackhawks team. There's no end in sight. There's no sun shining in their neighborhood. This is a team that is now again last in the league, 13 wins, 25 losses, and they're playing the mean Colorado Avalanche. And Colorado Avalanche have had an outstanding year so far. They're 25-15 on the season, yet they're only sitting in a wild card spot. This Colorado team cannot take their foot off the gas. They are minus 250 tonight, but I'm not going to bet it that way. I actually am going to bet minus 1.5. The bottom line is when Chicago loses, they lose bad. They just lost 6-2 to the New York Rangers. They lost 6-2 to the St. Louis Blues, 5-1 to Dallas, 6-2 to Buffalo, 6-4 to Calgary. When Chicago loses, they lose by more than one. As for Colorado, this team has won 6 of their last 7 games, and they win going away 4-2, 4-2, 5-2, 4-1, 5-2, 3-1 against Florida last night. So I like Colorado here to win this game by 2. I think we should be looking to bet puck lines against Chicago blindly for the rest of the year, and I think it'll be a profitable proposition. So take the Colorado Avalanche minus 1.5 against Chicago. Gianni The Greek joining us. Gianni, thanks for doing this every day, brother. How are you?
Never better, Prez. Never better. The pleasure's all mine, my man, and thank you for having me. We cashed for the bettors yesterday, right? Both premium NHL bets swept. I went 3-1 overall. I love this lower volume. I challenge myself every day to narrow it down. Like I've already bet, Prez, I think like 12, 13 college basketball games. But all I sent was the 2 strongest of my subscribers. I sent yesterday an NFL teaser because we're going to touch on that real quickly about how the playoffs changes a lot on how you need to bet. And yeah, just really excited, brother. Thank you.
Okay, let's start right off the bat with what does it change? What is the strategy going into Wild Card Weekend?
Okay, even though I talked about how I changed how I approach using the Wong teaser, and that I was looking for the sharpest, most efficient numbers. To do that, I'd wait until closer to kickoff, which means I lost a lot of opportunities earlier in the week that were in that Wong numbers. Remember, the Wong teaser, you simply go through the numbers 3 and 7. So you're teasing down favorites of 8.5, 8, and 7.5, and you're teasing up underdogs of 1.5, 2, and 2.5. I would wait until towards the end, okay? In the playoffs, that can't happen because all the wise guys know when it comes to the playoffs, the teaser is extremely powerful because the numbers are already efficient by this time. We only have a number of teams. And because of that, like you won't get too many opportunities to lock in those teasers that get you through 3 and 7. Look at the Rams. That was available yesterday. It's no longer there where you can tease it. So those you got to lock in early. And the next thing that changes, we talk about it in the NFL. Pick the winner, you'll cash a ticket. Nothing more powerful than that in the playoffs. Going back over 20 years, the team that wins the game covers the spread well over 80% of the time. When you get in the wild card, it's even higher. It's close to 9 out of 10 times, meaning the underdog either wins outright or the favorite blows the underdog away, where the teaser isn't going to help you, okay? Where it's not going to help you unless you just pick the winner. So you put those two together and you could really find some real good spots if you just put that 2 together, that the opportunities will not be there long to lock in these teasers. If you find spots where you just have to pick the winner to cash a ticket and it happens to be on those Wongs, you lock that in, baby, because you got gold. And what reflects this more than anything else? By conference championship, I'll tell you this now, books that are taking $50,000 teasers today for this weekend, or we're taking $100,000 teasers just last week in week 18, when the conference championship rolls around, those same sharp books, you'll be lucky to get down a nickel, a dime, because they know by that time, by conference championships, those lines are so tight, so efficient that you should be laying 150, 160, 170 for those 6 points. Unlike during the regular season where you have so much volatility. So it's a different playing field when it comes to the playoffs, and you got to approach it that way because there's just so much public money that the sharp money doesn't even matter. Kind of like in the Super Bowl, Prez, we talk about it all the time, how you could just print money with the props because the books don't even care. They already know they're going to get so much public money on all these bias sides, overs, that they don't care if guys like us sneak in there and put a couple hundred on the unders and get the best of it. That starts to happen this Saturday and Sunday and Monday with the wild card round.
Gianni The Greek joining us, everyone. Gianni, I'll tell you right now, I don't tease in the playoffs. So,
Stick to what works for you.
Yeah, just, I just make it simple. No teasers in the playoffs. I do think the largest parlay bet that will be made will be Ohio State, Baltimore, and Buffalo, all on the money line. I think that'll be the bet that is most common in the parlay world, if you will. Now, you mentioned you made 700 basketball bets today and only released a few to the clients. Let's have the rest.
All right. Oh, other one just came in now. And, I like it. All right. One extra board game. 306, 506, Charleston Southern, +9, +8.5. So that's Charleston Southern +9, +8.5. Regular board games start off with 690 Citadel +14, 693 Western Carolina +14.5, 688 under 146.5 Temple East Carolina, 692 under 154 ETSU and Mercer, 693 Western Carolina +14.5, 707 Fordham +18.5, 748 or 718 UMass +11, 713 Florida State +2, 729 over 153 Georgia Southern and Georgia State, and this one that just came in now, 688 under 146.5 and 146 Temple East Carolina. So they're already firing on this college basketball, but I know all the excitement's about college football playoffs, which kick off tomorrow. And of course, those NFL wildcard games a little later.
There we go. Gianni The Greek, everyone. Anything going on in NBA or NHL tonight?
No, nothing's come in yet on the NHL card or the NBA board. Been very, very selective. I see mostly like a first half NBA side come in later. They really don't. It's hard for me. I'm just going to be real with it. They work so many middles on these NBA totals that I almost ignore them now. Unless it's something on a side, I feel like I'm almost guessing, like, are they just really trying to middle this game? And I'm not a good NBA handicapper on totals myself, so I mostly piggyback what they were doing. And that's why I've released almost none or very little totals. I tend to look at the sides more where I have more my own opinion mixed into it, and just haven't been that busy with the NBA. I'm surprised. It's one of those sports that I've been seeing that year in and year out. Like, I don't know whether it's the way the game's played today compared to in the past, or all the politics they've injected into it. I know I haven't watched an NBA game in forever, but it just doesn't get the betting action you would expect. How kind of like NFL trumps college football. NBA just doesn't do that to college basketball. Like, every night I see so much more volume, Prez, on college basketball than NBA. Even if it's like the primetime NBA TV game, the college game on ESPN will get so much more money. It's just, I think people just giving up on confidence in their bets in the NBA. And I don't blame them, because when you place a bet and all of a sudden the player's not playing, or the coach lets you know we're resting 3 of them tonight, we didn't care about this game. Like, dude, what am I putting my money on players that I don't even know if this team's going to play, if they even care about being there? So once you've lost the faith of the market, I don't think it shows you how sharper bettors are today. They have so many options that they're not going to mess around with the NBA when there's just so much in uncertainty in handicapping it.
Yeah, I really hope Adam Silver gets a grip on this too, dude, because we saw, why is the NFL the number one sport in North America? It's likely because of sports betting. So get a grip, Adam Silver. Wake up and help us out. It's only going to help the NBA, for Christ's sake. Gianni, that's the show, bro. What do you got to promote?
Yeah, I got 4% already up in the Sunday NFL package. I have a 5% up in the Saturday NFL package. My college football playoff package will be going up today. I sold a ton of those 5%ers in yesterday on that $2 Tuesday that I'm absolutely so hyped about because it was a future. And I hope all those people get to earn some money off that months down the road. And the Steam Room will be Sunday this week, where we dig into that NFL game, go over our year-to-date results, long-term results, and remind ourselves what money management system we're going to use this year. So far, so good, Prez. I've loved what I've been doing. Positive numbers so far, positive ROI. I'm not promoting any of that because the sample size is so small. Instead, I'm reminding people I'm coming off my second losing year in the last 10. I apologize to anyone that put their trust in me because I failed you. I sell certainty. At least that's what I try to do long term. But I can promise you working hard to make sure when you zoom out, numbers don't lie. So that's the goal, baby. Just make as much profit for my guys this year. Thank you again for always giving me the opportunity to talk.
Mic drop for Gianni. Get out of here. We'll see you tomorrow. What a great show, everybody. I'm here tomorrow. We've got another outstanding lineup. Dave Sherapan will be joining us. Ralph Michael. We got 5 guests tomorrow. Kyle Anthony, Ralph Michaels, Dave Sherapan, Andy Lang, and Gianni The Greek. I have no idea how we're going to get through this show. We'll make it fast. I'll talk less. Love you all. We'll see you tomorrow.